Okay, welcome to lesson 58. Percents greater than 100 and less than 1. Okay, lesson 58 of numbers and operations. Okay, here's our objective. Here's our vocabulary. Okay, so rename 225% as a decimal. And so what do we know? Let's write our number. 225. Now, this is a whole number. It can be made rational by putting a decimal at the end. And now that a decimal is at the end, to turn a percent into a decimal, we have to divide by 100 because percent means divide by 100. So the trick for dividing by multiples of 10 is to simply count the number of zeros, 1, 2, and then move the decimal place accordingly. So you get 2.25. 225% is 2.25 as a decimal. Okay, rename 0.007 as a percent. So now the opposite is in effect. To go from a decimal to a percent, you multiply by 100. And so here we have 2 zeros again. And 2 zeros, and that means we move the decimal place 2 spots. 0.7% or 0.7%. Okay, those were our two examples. I will see you at the end of the video for the recap. Okay, so problem number 1, write as a percent. So we have the rational number 4 over 1, which is equal to 4, which is equal to 4.0. These are all the same number. And if you're confused about this, go back to and watch the equivalent numbers video. I think I did it with fractions. I'm not sure if I did it with decimals. But anyway, okay. So to go from a decimal to a percent, we multiply by 100, which means 1, 2 zeros. We move the decimal point 1, 2 to the right, and we get 400%. So to go from a percent to a decimal, you would divide by 100 and we would get 4 back. Write 0.003 as a percent. 003 times 100, which means 1, 2 zeros, move the decimal point 1, 2 times, and you get 0.3%. And if you divide by 100, you would move the decimal point to the left. Okay, write as a decimal and a fraction in simplest form. So 750%. So 750 divided by 100. 1, 2 zeros, you're dividing, so you go left, you get 7.5. That's as a decimal. And now as a fraction, 7 5/10. We can divide 5/10 by 5, and we get 7 1/2. And when we do the simplifying, we only worry about the fractional part. And there you go. That's 750% as a decimal and a fraction. And our last example. So 0.004%. To go from a percent to a decimal, we had to divide by 100, which means move the decimal place 1, 2 to the left. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. This is a decimal. And now we have to look at the place value of the decimal. You get tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths, 100 thousandths. So now this 4 would go over, not next to, would go over 100,000. And since they're both even, we can reduce. We can divide by 4/4. And 4 divided by 4 is 1. And 100,000 divided by 4 should be 25,000. But let's see. 4, 2, 8, 25, 1, 2, 3. Yep. 25,000. Okay, so that concludes this lesson dealing with percents bigger than 100 and smaller than 1. And there are no practical applications for this because this channel, this numbers and operations are strictly designed to get you the nuts and bolts of how to manipulate the numbers. We'll start to look at practical applications when we get to algebra. But there are practical applications for these, but that is not the intent of these lessons. So thank you for watching. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will catch you on the next video.